Coming up on this episode of Brody Even Talk Pinball, we're going to review Pinball in 2017.
We're going to go through all the latest news and updates, and we're going to review the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy pinball machine by Stern Pinball Incorporated.
All this and more coming right up.
Double super jackpot!
I need a ramp. I need a loop. I want targets I can hit. I need the scoop. I need a double super jackpot in my life. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nick Lane. It's Kevin Manny of Buffalo Pinball.
Well, thank you, Rudy, for that intro. It's Monday, December 19th, and last month of the year. We've got holidays coming up next week.
Happy Festivus.
Happy Festivus to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to talk about what happened in 2017
Yeah, it's
in
been,
the pinball world.
When you look back on it, there's been a lot happening in pinball this year, and we're going to get to the This Week in Pinball awards.
Yeah.
But the fact that there are enough pinball machines to warrant doing an awards is awesome.
We're getting there.
We're
We
getting
have
there.
4 games to talk about. I
Yeah.
mean, in any other world, there's like a million. Like that happens in like a day, but we'll take it.
Right.
All right. Well, before we get into the mix, let's shout out to our partners. Give them some thanks. They help make this happen. Comet Pinball, maker of LEDs. Double Danger Pinball, maker of pinball swag, shirts, all that good stuff. Coupon code Buffalo for 15% off. Pinball Life, pinball parts. They got some mods. You name it. Call Pinball Life. Go to pinballlife.com. Jersey Jack Pinball, maker of Hobbit, Wizard of Oz, Dialed In, and the soon-to-be-released Pirates of the Caribbean.
Woo.
Titan Pinball. They make silicone rings, so replace those crappy old rubber rings. Put in Titan silicone rings. You'll thank me. You'll thank Titan. They got coupon code of Buffalo, which is 10% off. Community Beer Works. Community Beer Works provides delicious beer during our streams, and even when we're not streaming, we drink Community Beer Works. It's that good. Pin Stadium Lights. Pin Stadium to make your game look absolutely fantastic. Kevin, how good does Pin Stadium look on games?
Pin Stadium looks amazing. So if you want your game super bright, you can make it super bright, or you can use the app to tone it down to just the perfect level.
Tons of customization. Pin Stadium has a coupon code of Buffalo, and that's 10% off. Pinball Arcade. Pinball Arcade are BFFs for the last several years now. They make virtual recreations of real pinball machines, and they've helped so many people get into pinball.
Now available on Nintendo Switch as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, last but not least, Dan Burfield, who is better known as Tilt Cycle, tiltcycle.com. It is the holidays, and if you've not gotten any presents for your loved ones, shame on you, first of all. Well, you've got Amazon Prime, so you've got like technically until like Friday pretty much, and you're probably good. But you should definitely go over to Tilt Cycle and get some pinball art, get something unique. Tilt Cycle has 20% off when you type in Buffalo. So there you go. Enjoy.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Dan said he's making another Buffalo cutout too. So the Buffalo
that's
cutout
nice.
is a hot selling item.
Oh, so somebody.
Somebody locally.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you know who?
Yeah.
Okay, you can tell me later.
She wants me talking about it. She. All right, we'll get into it later.
All right.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Get your Buffalo cutouts with a pinball playfield behind it. It's the thing to get.
Okay.
So let's get into some news and updates.
Let's talk about what happened in the last month.
Yes.
We actually have stuff to talk about.
We
This
do.
is why I like the monthly podcast.
Yeah, you do a month and there's enough to kind of talk about with like kind of treading over the same topics. But there's been just an avalanche of code updates. So
Cornucopia.
a cornucopia, yes.
Yeah.
An abundance.
Plethora.
Well played. There's a Star Wars is finally at 1.0. So
There we go. It's what it should have
it's
been on day
code
1
complete.
when it was in July.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you play the game and you like what's there, go ahead and buy it because it's pretty much complete.
That's true.
There's going to be, bug fixes and things like that going forward, but it is what it is. This is going to be your Star Wars code, and I forgot to turn on our lights.
Yeah.
So there we go. Guardians of the Galaxy is at 0.8. So
And it shows.
it does.
Oh, spoilers.
We're going to get into that more later on, but there's going to be some Boboli talk. Alien from Highway Pinball is at 1.1. and we're going to talk about it soon. But we're going to be playing Alien next week,
Next Thursday.
on the stream.
Not this Thursday. Next Thursday.
Yes. And Batman 66 is at 0.84, and The Wizard of Oz gets another update at 6.6,
which is amazing.
It's had like 54 code updates or something ridiculous like that.
I mean, the game was like superb when it came out, and they just keep on putting a layer of polish.
It wasn't superb when it came out, but they've put a lot of time and effort into it.
I can't believe you missed the best code update, Kevin.
Which one?
Come on now.
Batman 66?
No.
Which one?
Walking Dead.
Oh, damn it.
Walking Dead.
Oh,
got a
right.
code update.
You're right. I screwed
doesn't
it up.
even need it.
Don't.
It doesn't need. There's
No.
not that need. Like there's some needs, but my God, man, Lyman, hats off to you.
Yes.
He made a brilliant, fantastic, one of the best games ever. Even better. A lot of like scoring adjustments, and I think a lot of people find it more satisfying. Like I was playing Barn, one of my favorite modes, and I finished it up with like 90 million, which that's I never did that before in Barn.
Yeah, I played it a few times at Game On and got like 300 million, which I've never even come close to before.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty good game. I had like Bloodbath, and so you still have to like get a good game going, but you can put up some higher scores.
And it's not just like, they've inflated the scores. It just makes the modes more valuable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I like that about the game. It's sort of it can be a single ball game. It's not like you need to get multi-ball and you're going to win. No, it's like you can choose to go down the path of doing modes, and you're going to be rewarded for that just as much as you might be rewarded for a multi-ball, per se. And then also Horde, which is my favorite update in the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Horde, you can now complete it. Sort of like Crank It Up in Metallica. I'm not sure at what point you get to, but basically you get far enough into it, and then you can hit the Woodbury shot, and you can basically collect what you've built up and end it, or you can keep on going on.
Yeah, I think it was when you got like 2 or 3 rounds of like killing all the zombies. That's when you're able to cash it out.
It was a bunch. It was more than like 2 or 3.
Was it?
Yeah, I might be. I feel like it was like 5 or something
Wow,
when I did
okay.
it.
All right.
It's a while.
Yeah.
Unless it was lit before and I just didn't know.
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
that's the other thing. But really cool. It's not like I felt like the game was missing anything. I always felt like, you could make it better, but at that point you're getting almost greedy.
Right.
But that, like, being able to get out of Horde, very satisfying and move on with the game. So
Yeah, because it lets you play that game, and it gives you that risk reward that you would have from Crank It Up.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to keep playing and push it, or cash it out and continue making progress towards the rest of the game?
and it
It's
doesn't
awesome.
get boring. I mean, I'm not saying Horde got boring, but like if you're just kind of stuck in it until you drain, right? So it's like this endurance match.
It's
or
like a
fatigue.
roadblock, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
and you don't want that.
kudos to Lyman, who I'm sure did this in his own time.
This guy, this Lyman
he
guy,
is-
he knows how to code a pinball machine.
He's an artist, man. Artists care.
Exactly.
So thank you.
So that's it for our code updates. Getting into a little bit of the tournament scene, I wanted to touch on Papa 21. It will not be taking place in the spring, according to Doug Polka from Papa. He posted on the Tilt forum saying, basically what they can announce is that it's not happening early this year. It looks like hopefully it's going to happen later in the year, but pending their sale of their building, and they got a lot going on, so I don't blame them for taking that off of the schedule. They're also not listed as a circuit event this year because of the timing of everything and the logistics of that. So I bring that up because that's one of my favorite tournaments of the year, and hopefully it'll be happening in late this year.
Mine too. I'm glad I went last year for the last time that it was at the Papa facility because it's such a special place. It's the first tournament I ever played in was Pinburg at the Papa facility. Just have so many good memories there. So it will be missed, and I look forward to where they end up.
Yep.
And make some new memories.
Can't wait to see what's next. Hopefully better parking.
Well, yeah, I think that's I mean, you can't do worse.
And no bridge of death.
Yeah, true. Don't get your car stuck on the railroad tracks, kind of deal, right?
Right.
Because some idiots do that.
Who would do that?
I have no idea.
Next Color DMD was announced. It's Game of Thrones.
Looks really good, by the way.
It does, yeah. It's one of those games with lots of video clips in it, which when they first started,
I think it's like 90% video clips.
yeah, I guess they had to like rewrite the code for it, and it's actually the first Spike game too. I think that's supported by Color DMD.
Fast
so
facts.
that opens the door to a whole new set of games.
But they're going to run out of games. I mean, there's only so many Spike games with that. But I feel like all along, the fact that Game of Thrones had so many video clips in it, I don't know this, but it almost seems like that was going to be a game that had the LCD screen in it, right? 'Cause
yeah,
it was so heavy on that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's nothing special, but now that it's colorized, You can, again, make it out like you can in other games like Iron Man. Looks pretty damn good. I would recommend that upgrade to somebody who's a baller and flush with cash and really likes that game.
Yeah, like on your Iron Man, those video clips just look so much better.
Yeah.
When you start putting the color in them. When it's all red, it's just like, what's going on? You can sort of tell what's going on, but you get that color depth in there. It really makes a huge difference. So looking forward to seeing that in person. Let's give a quick shout out to our friend Bruce Nightingale from Slam Tilt Podcast for congratulate him on opening the Silverball Saloon in Rochester, New York.
Yeah, we went out there a few weeks ago for kind of a soft opening, and it's a really fantastic, nice place, and he's getting a lot of support from the pinball community. I hear other podcasts giving him a shout out.
Yep.
And some well wishes. So kudos to Bruce for he's always been very generous with his collection. He would have kind of open houses almost at his house. He'd have tournaments, and now he's taking it to the next level by opening up a place that people can go every day and play pinball. So
yep.
Thanks, Bruce.
So it's a pinball. It's got a bar. It's got a restaurant. So
yeah,
what more do you need in life, really? Food.
That's pretty much it.
Booze, if that's your thing.
Yeah.
And a bunch of really awesome pinball machines. He's got a Stargazer and some rare stuff like that too. So it's not just all the latest.
He's got
Cerns.
a good selection, like a balanced selection. Bruce has I really like about him that he has a balanced collection of games.
Yeah.
Balanced interests.
Yeah. So. I liked playing Meteor and Stargazer. That was a blast. All right, and so another thing we did recently was we headed up to the Great White North.
We did
to join our friend Mike Primo with Path of Play. We did a little stream for the Path of Play Day up at his place, and Nick, you dialed in
for
on
charity.
Ball One. Yeah,
I did it for charity.
You did.
Yeah,
you did it for the kids.
I did it for the kids.
Yeah,
I don't know how many I saved, but probably a lot of them. So it was fun being up there.
Yeah,
and it's easier to play good pinball when you're having a good time. So Mike's a fantastic host.
Mm-hmm.
He did a great job. He took kind of broadcasting to the next level. That's his talent in life.
Yeah,
he's ridiculously hard on himself because he tries to. He's a big thinker, but it was really good. It was a fun time and had a good game of Dialed In.
Yes. Unfortunately, the whole thing doesn't exist. It's gonna be.
That's the one. Yeah, that's.
I feel like this is gonna become a thing of legend. Like
he had to be there.
Remember when Nick Lane beat Dialed In on one ball?
It was fun. So he had standard settings on the game. So I did it on ball one, but it was with 2 extra balls. So really, I did it in 3 balls. Right, except there was no extra balls on it. But it was legit settings. And
there's also no
weird.
scoop protectors on his
There's
game.
There's no scoop protectors, and that helped.
Makes it a lot easier to hit those shots.
Very much so.
But it was good. Yeah, there was board games and pinball and video games. We played Burger Time. That was fun. But yeah, with a lot of great friends. Joe Cherovino, who you know from our summer open streams and stuff like that. He was there. So
and I would encourage everybody to learn more about Path of Play. Head over to their Facebook page and check it out.
Yep. So just search for Path of Play Day on Facebook. So check them out. All right, Nick, we got a tournament coming up. It's not January 1st, Kevin. Well, I think you're missing a. Oh my God, that speaks for itself. That's all you need. Look at that. This is why you watch on a video and not just listen to that. So we've got a tournament coming up. Actually, 2 if you look at it this way. Actually, maybe 3, but we're talking about 2 right now. So we're hosting the New York State Finals. It's going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be at Game on Saturday, January 20th. But we're going to do a winter pinball tournament that Friday for our guests who are coming in town for it and also local folks. And it's the the Fiesta Forever Winter Pinball Tournament.
Okay, the Fiesta Forever Winter Pinball Tournament. I think it's also Extravaganzas in the title. Okay. I don't think you can fit it all in the flyer, but the actual title is even longer than that. Right. So come on down. There's probably going to be a lot of Lionel Richie playing. I don't know why, but because he likes good pinball music, I hear. He's invited to the tournament. Martha's like, he's not going to be there. I'm not going to go. I was like, well, I invited him, so it's on him if he doesn't come. It's up to him if he wants to come or not. Yeah, it's your loss, Lionel. If you don't want to come. You can play pinball all night long. All right, so yeah, come out and hang out, play pinball, and we'll be live streaming the state finals that Saturday. So definitely tune in if you can't make it in person, and it'll be a good time. Oh yeah, we're gonna live stream it. Yep. That's another thing. There's so much going on. There's a lot. We do a lot of pinball. I'm kind of scared of January. Yeah. And then we got the Canadian battle. The North American battle, which we'll be doing a lot of hype around that. Yeah. And we're probably going to podcast, I'm sure, before that. Yep. But if you remember last year, we battled City Pinball, which is one of the Toronto leagues. We went up there. They're coming down here, and yeah, we're gonna battle. They won last year, but now it's on our home turf. So here's the thing, though. I know they recruited Adam Becker, which is
what?
I know. It's a little BS. So they got Jack Tadman and Adam Becker, and then the rest of their squad are just like really good players.
Is Adam even in City Pinball League?
He is.
Is he? Okay.
He is.
All right. I'll allow it then.
Yeah. Well, we got no choice. We got to allow it, I think. But it's it's gonna be tough.
Still kind of BS. All right. So let's talk about some game room updates. If you're watching the video, you may notice an update back there. The one and the only Michael Jordan staring over our shoulders. It's happened, ladies and gentlemen. There's a Space Jam in my game
We
room.
talked about it for a year.
Yeah.
But see, we don't mess around. When we say we're gonna do something, might take a little time.
Yep.
But we do it.
I'm not going to jump in and overpay for a pinball machine.
That's stupid.
It's stupid. Like,
no, you're a patient man.
I'm going to buy a Bone Busters out of some guy's basement.
Yep.
Haul it out, fix it up, stream it, then trade it for a Space Jam.
You talk about act of charity. That's buying a Bone Busters and restoring it. The universe has blessed you with a Space Jam.
Right. It delivered to my doorstep, no less.
Yeah.
So, you can see like parts and everything on Vector next to it if you're watching, because I basically had to tear that game all the way down and clean it all out. It's got a number of broken plastics. I've got some on the way. Needs a few other parts that I'm still waiting on. But yeah, it's getting there. Nick and I played a couple games before the stream, as much as you can right now. It's not totally playable, but you get a feel for it. There's a lot of MJ going on in the game, a lot of shooting hoops, which you would expect. But
yeah,
you'll see more of that coming ahead on the stream.
If you played Stern's NBA game, you basically have played Space Jam.
Yeah,
basically.
NBA doesn't have the big basketball with all the wire forms, though, does it?
I think it's got a big basketball. It might. It might
remember.
have some of that.
I remember it's got like the ramp like that.
It even has the fire on the ramp. It even says that.
I remember the fire ramp, and I remember the shoot to the basket where it locks it with the magnet.
I have to look at it again.
I don't remember the big basketball.
Okay.
We have to ask Ed. He's the expert on NBA. All right. What else? Just prepping for League Night. I'm hosting League Night in January, so that'll be cool. I got a flipper rebuild kit on the way for Vector, so the lower flippers are a little sticky on it, and I want that to be 100% for League Night, so that's on the way. Just put in an order with Pinball Life, the only sponsor, Pinball Life.
That's right.
I also want to. I'm going to deter a little bit from from pinball and talk about video games for a second.
It's allowed. I'm going to allow it.
It's the holiday season. If you're looking for a gift,
like how many people listening to this and playing pinball? Like 95% have to be playing video games.
Exactly.
Right? Come on.
There's a huge crossover.
Yeah.
And it's a game room update, and this is in my game room. I saw this re-res. Shane did a review of this, and I went and bought one. It's called the Classic 2 HD, and what it is a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo Entertainment System in one. It's like a system on a chip, so it's not using emulation. It's actually playing the games right off the cartridge. And so you can take all your old cartridges and put them in this and play them through HDMI on your high-res TV. So your HD TV. So I've been playing with that. It's pretty cool to go back and play some of the old school games and do it easily without a bunch of converters or anything like that, and make it look nice. So check it out, the Classic 2 HD. I'm enjoying it. It comes with two controllers, one Super Nintendo style and one NES style, so it's very cool.
Did you get that from Amazon?
No, I ordered it from their website.
Okay.
They were doing pre-orders at the time. I don't know what the wait time is on it. I think they're just in production. I think you just order them now, but that's cool.
Is that the only thing like that? The other one's like emulators or something?
There's the most popular one is like the Retron 5,
okay,
and that'll play like Game Boy games and Genesis and a whole bunch of other systems, but it like you plug the cartridge into it, but then it pulls the ROM off of it, plays the ROM, and then when you pull the cartridge out, it dumps it out of memory, but it's doing it through emulation.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a little more authentic.
Okay.
So it's cool. We've also been playing a bunch of VR, but I'll let you talk about VR if you want to talk about that.
Oh,
in
yeah.
The game room update.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 'tis the season, right?
All right, so why don't you take it away? The other thing I wanted to maybe have you talk about was your sweet jukebox software.
So I found this, like in my game room, I have a jukebox, which I don't really use as a jukebox. So all it is a super old PC, and it's connected to a touchscreen, old computer monitor. Like this is all old stuff,
school.
but it's hanging on the wall. And I I don't really use the jukebox function because it's such a limited library of music, and plus it's like stuff that I don't even know. I'm not burning CDs and putting it on there, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like I usually play Spotify, but I found this app last league night. It's called Juke Star. It's really cool. So if like you're running a party and you have Spotify Premium, all right, get the app Juke Star, and you're sort of the host of the party. You can create a party and you can send a link to people and invite them who are at the party, and then they get a link and they can request any song that's on Spotify.
So basically any song in the world.
Yeah, and it will play through like, you're at your party, and other people can veto a song if they don't like and vote it down, or vote songs up that they like. It's really cool. Everybody seemed to enjoy it, and it's free, which is even better. So it's a plug for that, for your game room next party.
We had that going after league night at your house a couple weeks ago, and it was a huge hit. It turned into an 80s bonanza real quick.
Yeah, this is dance parties the last 2 weekends in my house. So.
Oh, yeah.
And then a non-pinball topic, if I can venture out.
You
like
may,
Kevin
yes,
did.
I'll allow it.
So I got a brand new toy. I finally got VR, which, I mean, I've been playing video games since I was old enough to play video games. I'm 37 now. And I've sort of gotten tired of video games because there's nothing new. They're all the same games coming out and stuff. But Windows came out with like Windows mixed reality headsets, which if you don't know what those are, there's just VR headsets. So really the options before that, they're the HTC Vive, which was like $800 for the longest time.
Right.
It's finally down to $600. Then the Oculus Rift, which is like $400. And the PSVR, which Kevin has.
Oh, yeah.
So the Windows headsets are coming out to compete with that. And they're better resolution than all the other headsets out there. And they're really affordable. Like, there was actually a sale last week where normally they're $400 for like the one I had, the Lenovo Explorer, and went down to $200 for today.
That's crazy.
So I bought, like, I had to buy a new computer system, so I got a new laptop for it and the VR, and there was like a bundle. And VR is absolutely amazing. Like, as someone who's been playing video games for the longest time, it's a game changer. It's something that you can talk and try to describe, and you can watch like Kevin and I played a VR game, but it probably looks stupid when you're just watching it on the screen. But to actually play those games, like we were playing Rec Room, which again, if you just look at Rec Room, you're like, this game?
Right.
We were playing like some like laser tag game in there, and like I'm ducking in my living room, like behind an imaginary barrier. There's robots firing at me. I'm looking like back, and Kevin's over there. I'm trying to reload my gun with one hand, like peeking over and trying to shoot stuff, and it's like exhilarating. It's like such a cool experience that I would totally recommend everybody try to seek out some VR. Like we have it locally at Game On where people can test it out. So you might have something like that in your city or a friend. But now it's becoming way more affordable, and it's such an amazing experience that it's hard to go back and play video games. At least for me, I'm ready to move on to that VR stage.
Yeah, it's fun. I do get a little motion sick on certain games, but the games where you like teleport around instead of actually physically moving, I have no problem with those. And there is some VR pinball to bring it back to pinball. You can play Pinball FX. I've played it on PlayStation VR, but Pinball Arcade,
for Steam too.
Pinball Arcade's also available for Oculus and HTC Vive, I think. So there's some real pinball, virtual pinball you can play too. So
I still play real pinball.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I would never play virtual. I would never play virtual pinball. Like I'll play real pinball, and that's it.
It's
the deal.
fun for like the Pinball FX stuff. It's fun because those are not real machines, so
Yeah.
it kind of puts it. And they have like weird stuff. So when you're playing like the underwater game, there's like sharks and stuff swimming around you. So there's some cool effects, but it's not the same as the real thing.
Yeah,
but it's
And
closer.
If you guys have VR, message me on Facebook or something like that if you're on Steam, and we'll play some games.
Yeah.
We had Fugel join us.
Yeah, there's some
a couple
great
weeks ago.
cross-platform games like Rec Room.
Rec Room's awesome, and this Rec Room is free. By
Yeah.
the way, it's like one of the best VR games. It's amazing.
Get Rec Room and play with us, and we'll do it on stream, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah, and Spark is really cool.
I know. Well, now that I've cleared a spot on my floor, I got to try that.
I was so out of shape. I was playing Spark, and I was sore the next day.
I know.
Like I must be getting in better shape, I think, because I got like a boxing game, and I went like 3 rounds against this guy at like the computer, and it's legit, man. Like it's super legit because my body was just like in fight or flight, and I was exhausted after like 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
It's a nerd workout. What more did you want?
Nerd workout.
Yeah,
finally.
I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, back to pinball.
All right. So like we talked about earlier, we will be streaming Alien Pinball a week from Thursday, so I think it's the 28th of December. We will be doing that on Brody Even Pinball. James from Rochester is kind enough to invite us out. And normally we can't make it out to Rochester on Thursday nights, but because it's a holiday week and we're all off from work, we're gonna take the trek out there and revisit it. He assures us that everything is working. So
okay, good. I mean, I know when we gave the review, we got some most people understood.
Yeah.
They played it, and they're like, "Yeah, you're totally right." But some people who might have the game or like it were defensive, and it's like, look, we don't seek to go out and we don't want to give a bad review. We want all games to be awesome. So hopefully this game can redeem itself and we get a kind of a better perspective on it. And of course, we'll come back and we'll talk about that experience.
Yeah, so it'll be a good time. You'll get to see, you'll experience it along with us through the stream. So what we play is what you'll see, and we look forward to getting some more time in on that. It's got updated code since we played it last too, which is cool.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Rudy Soup is joining us January 5th right here. He's the newest member of the Buffalo Pinball stream team. So Friday nights, starting the first Friday of January, you'll catch Rudy Soup on our channel, twitch.tv/Buffalo Pinball. Friday nights is a new night for us. So if you have your Friday nights open and you want to watch some pinball, you'll be able to now.
Yeah, super excited to have Rudy. Glad that he joined us. He's a great guy, entertaining streams. Austin will no longer be streaming with us. He's moved on to streaming more video games and whatnot. But we want to thank Austin for being a member of Buffalo Pinball for the last year. He crushed a lot of games. There's some great videos on YouTube, so check it out. Most recently, he got to Encore mode on ACDC, if I'm not mistaken.
Put up like hundreds of millions of points in Encore too, like almost finished Encore mode.
Very talented.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel if you want to see that highlight. So thank you, Austin. He's awesome. Check him out. All right, let's get into the year in review.
Okay.
As when it comes to pinball. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to use the This Week in Pinball categories. So,
I really like what they did. That's a great, that's a brilliant idea. Simple, and most places do it, but he did it. He went out and did it, and we can really kind of rally behind that. And as Kevin said earlier, we actually have options to choose from this year because it has been a good year for pinball.
There are a lot of options. So the categories are Best Theme of the Year, Best Theme Integration, Best Sound and Callouts, Best Artwork, Best Rules and Code, Best Light Show, Best Toys and Gimmicks, Best Playfield Layout and Gameplay, Best Display and Animations, and Game of the Year. And your nominees are Aerosmith, Alien, Batman 66, Dialed In, Guardians of the Galaxy, Lexi Lightspeed, Escape from Earth, Star Wars, The Jetsons, and Total Nuclear Annihilation.
So, full disclosure, there's games that I haven't played. I think you haven't played either. So, like Lexi Lightspeed, I've played that maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So it's considered out and official this year.
Yeah,
he has that as an option.
That is one of. I asked him, said because I already took the survey, so I couldn't see what the options were anymore. So I messaged him on Twitch on Twitter today and said, "Can you give me the nominees and the categories?" So
all right,
these
and
are
then
the options.
so I can at least say I played that game recently. Jetsons I've not played.
That's
so
that's the only game I haven't.
So
played.
keep in mind, when I'm voting or saying my pick, I haven't played that game.
Yep.
All the other ones, though.
Decent amount of time on most of them. So, all right, so let's get into it. The first category, Best Theme of the Year. This is based on theme only. This is not theme integration. Just the name of the game. What's your favorite?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I have a hard time with this because I don't know, man. Star Wars is a great theme, but I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be your theme of the year.
That wouldn't be my theme of the year. I don't care about the Jetsons. I give credit for Total Nuclear Annihilation for being original. I'm not an Aerosmith fan, but I like music games. Dialed In as a theme doesn't do anything for me, even though it shows up well in the game. Guardians, I don't care about the movie. Honestly, I have a really hard time with this. I'm gonna limp across. I can't remember what I voted for, to be honest.
I know. Some of these I'm like, what did I vote for?
I'm starting to overthink things now. So I'm going to just barely say Batman 66.
Oh!
Maybe Best Theme. I don't know.
Go get him, Pengy.
That's not, we're not talking about sounds.
I know.
You know what, though? I think I voted Total Nuclear Annihilation. because I like the retro. I like the new retro.
It is cool.
Look.
I like the whole
I don't know.
concept behind it.
I don't like any of these themes like that much to like go nuts over.
All right. So bottom line for you, none of them are like, oh yeah, when you heard this theme was coming out, you're like, that's awesome, finally.
It takes a lot to. I'm not a huge theme guy.
Yeah.
So
for me, it's probably not what you're expecting. When I heard they were making a pinball machine out of this, I was stoked. It's something I always liked, especially when I was a kid. And it's the Jetsons.
I did not. I didn't know about that about you until you told me like a day or two ago.
Yeah,
I was just
I'm
sort of
like,
like,
dude,
are you
I remember
joking?
getting up, like eating my cereal in the morning, watching the Jetsons like every morning. I was like, this is awesome. This is what it's gonna be like in the future. We're gonna live in space, and we're gonna have these flying cars, and there's gonna be robot maids, and now I have a robot vacuum cleaner, so it's almost there. But yeah, based on just theme alone, like. Finally, they're making a pinball machine out of this. For me, it's the Jetsons.
All right, I'm gonna go back. I think I said Total Nuclear Annihilation in my voting. So final answer.
Final answer, TNA. Okay. All right. I'll allow it. All right. Best theme integration. So, what takes all that intellectual property and packs it into a pinball machine in the most exciting way?
I forgot everything I voted for. This one I think. No, this one I remembered. I dialed in the theme, the original theme. They have. Here's the beauty about original themes. You can do whatever you want with it, right? Your hands aren't tied in a lot of ways that when we talk about Star Wars and why are there cool things in Star Wars, I don't know, but I think the rumor is that their hands were tied with licensing. So horrible theme integration in Star Wars. Yet with Dialed In, it's just kind of dripping with the theme, and they've created their own universe behind the story. It's got its own comic book. I think they crushed it on that game.
For me, I don't 100% remember what I voted for, but I'm going to go with Alien. I think that game, especially after having played Star Wars, which was kind of a letdown in the theme integration side of things, the atmosphere and the feel that it creates and the call-outs and the music and the light show, the light show is dark, but it puts you in the universe, and that's what you want out of a pinball machine.
That's a good call.
Theme integration.
Yeah, they had some good moments in that game.
Yeah, when you get like the machine gun or the turret multi-ball going. And,
yep.
I don't know. I just think they did a really good job with taking that theme and making you feel like you're in that world when you're playing that
That's
game.
the best thing about that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
All right, so best sound and callouts. Again, let's give the list. Aerosmith, Alien, Batman 66, Dialed In, Guardians of the Galaxy, Lexi Lightspeed, Star Wars, The Jetsons.
Some of those games don't even have
Total
call
Nuclear
outs.
Annihilation. Oh, hey-o.
All right, I'm gonna go again with Dialed In.
Okay.
Well, number one, and I've said this before in the stream, and I've had people remark when playing. They really, first of all, it tells you what to shoot for all the time, and it seems so simple, but it's surprisingly that more games don't do that. Just fantastic. So that's great. The sound and the music. That music's not a separate one. This is sound, right?
This is sound and music. Everything,
okay, so
everything in one.
The theme song gets in your head when you're playing. David Thiel crushed it. Man, that's my pick with a very close second of Total Nuclear Annihilation because Scott Denisi crushed it with the music in that game. That's kind of my style of music that resonates with me. And as soon as you fire up a game on TNA, you can't help but kind of bob your head to it. So very, very close second, which is saying a lot.
Yep. So, and that leads into my choice of Total Nuclear Annihilation for Sound of the Year. I've never, aside from maybe Tron, I've never seen a game where people just like, oh man. I think even beyond Tron, you just see people like sitting around bobbing their heads. It's kind of like a dance party in a box. It's like, the new TX Sector kind of, you're just like, I want to play this game because the music is amazing. So that to me is a sign of a great sound package in a pinball machine. So kudos to Scott Denisi and Total Nuclear Annihilation. All right, best artwork.
Go ahead.
You want me to go
Take
first?
This one.
Oh, this is a no-brainer for me. This is Aerosmith.
Yep, me too. All right.
There you go. Dirty Donnie. I'm a big fan of Donnie's work. Right now, probably my two favorite pinball artists are Dirty Donnie and Zombie Yeti. So if they come out with a game, chances are I'm going to love it. So I think he just did an amazing job with this pinball machine. It's covered in art, head to toe, every inch of it, very detailed. Did a great job. It's got this awesome 70s vibe to it, and it was a great match for Dirty Donnie's style. So great job on that Donnie.
Yeah, I mean, Metallica was a great looking game, and people love the art on that. And then it comes out with Aerosmith, and it exceeds Metallica, I think, in many ways. It's even better looking. The colors in it, the art style, everything. It's such a beautiful game that I say this at some point I hope to have in my collection.
Yeah, you look at Metallica after looking at Aerosmith, and you're like, oh, Metallica looks kind of plain now. Which it's not at all, but
it's not.
in comparison.
It's not, but it definitely overshadows it.
Yeah. All right, so let's do best rules and code.
Well, some of these games don't have really any rules or code in it.
Yeah, so
that's pretty easy. I mean, it sort of narrows it down.
Yeah.
For me, the choice then becomes Aerosmith as an option. Sort of Alien.
Yeah.
It's
but pretty much there.
Certainly Dialed In and TNA. I mean, so it's really those that I'm choosing from. And I got to say,
Star Wars is 1.0 now too, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Star Wars does have more code, and I just hate the shot multipliers in that game, so that's totally out for me. I don't like the rules in that. I'm gonna go Dialed In. Now, listen, if there was a lineman game on here, it would have been an easy choice for me.
Can we count the Walking Dead update? That doesn't count.
No.
All right.
Dialed In. No great reason. I think it's a step up above Aerosmith. Aerosmith has good rules for what it is. Aerosmith kind of incorporates a lot of rules from past games and finally comes together in a cohesive package.
Yep.
But again, some of the inventive things in Dialed In, like the fun things in selfie mode, the modes. I dig it. It's that and Aerosmith are sort of neck and neck, but I'm going to tilt over into the direction of Dialed In.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dialed In is a masterpiece from start to finish. When you plug it in, you can tell that a lot of care was put into the entire package. Every inch of that game is just like super polished and really good. And I would be hard pressed to put another game up against Dialed In, especially this year from a code perspective.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Light Show. I know what you're going to say here, but go ahead.
Do you?
You're going to say Dialed In.
I am.
Yeah, because so whereas like rules, I mean, the rules on Dialed In are good. Like there's other categories that it really shines, and that is the Light Show's amazing, especially like on the LE where you have the rope lights going up the ramps in the back. And like you said before, like when you get an extra ball, how everything changes
the extra
colors.
ball animation. Oh my god,
it's just
so good.
It's so good. Or like the EMP strike where the lights are kind of flickering on the playfield. I mean, just crushes it. It crushes any game on that list easily.
Yeah. How many times do we talk about how important choreography is in a game in the light shows?
That's what it does. It crushes,
dude,
man.
It's just like
so good,
amazing. Well done, Ted Estes and team over at Jersey Jack. All right, toys and gimmicks. This was a tough one for me.
This one, there's a clear winner for me, but I mean, I can see an easy second place. So the clear winner for me was Aerosmith. I really love the Jack in the Box toy.
Okay.
We've seen kind of pinballs fly in the air before, and it's sort of like the Indiana Jones arc, but I think it's really cool how it comes together on that. I like how you can. This is bleeding over to the rules, but you can lock more than just sort of 3 balls in there.
Right.
So that gets cool. Plus, when it opens up and they come out, I think that's a great toy in a pinball machine that we've seen in a number of years. Yeah.
I think I picked Alien for the Xenomorph head.
That never works.
Reliability notwithstanding.
All it does is shoot out and grab it with a magnet.
It's awesome, though.
I mean, the Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus rocks when it goes down. I think it's cooler than that.
I don't know. I had a great experience with it when I played that game.
All right.
I hope they get it working all the time, but the Xenomorph head got the pick for me. The Aerosmith toy box, it's just a rework of an existing toy.
But there's no toy box. There's no game where the box opens up and the ball flies in the air and it closes.
I know. Well, it's like a mix of NBA and the arc from Indiana Jones.
NBA?
Yeah, the like on Space Jam.
Throws in the air.
Yeah, and catches it. It's like they took those 2 toys, mashed them together, and they got a new toy.
Yeah. All right. I'm not. I disagree with the Alien. I think that's okay, but it's just like a little thing comes out and it grabs a magnet and goes in the head.
Yeah, I know. It's cool. It's the light show around it and everything too, though. And the big issue is the reliability. But the other one was the theater on Dialed In was.
Oh yeah, the theater's good.
I love the theater, and they do so many different things with it. But again, it's kind of elements of things we've seen before.
Yeah,
but implemented in a new cool way. So
yeah, I didn't have a clear second for that.
Yeah,
so it was easy for me to pick.
I mean, that's a good problem. There's a lot of good toys on pinball machines this year. Houdini isn't one of the options. Chat room it's Frightened in the chat room is
I mean, Houdini's got that toy, but it's not an option. So
right.
And Aerosmith came out before that, so
right.
it's yeah,
Houdini
first
will be
right
next year probably for when it comes to the awards. All right, let's see what we just did. Toys and gimmicks, best playfield layout and gameplay. I'll go first on this one. It's dialed in.
Yeah,
you hit those shots and they're just so smooth and awesome. The only shot that is questionable is the SIM card shot, I would say. But again, you wouldn't want that shot to be too easy.
No, you don't want it to be
the game
easy.
would be super easy and you just crush through it and be done.
That's very true. So no matter what you say about the SIM card, you don't want it to be easy because it'd be super boring. So it's it's fair. I'm in agreement. Same deal. It's got the best layout and gameplay. The game is dialed in. It's just perfect. It's just perfect in every way in the way it shoots. I thought that Star Wars shoots like butter. I thought that's a really good shooter too. And
it's just not as much fun to me.
No, it's not. No, that's the thing. It's not as much fun. Aerosmith's okay in terms of shooting, but it's no dialed in.
Yeah, Batman, nah.
Guardians
is fun
Alien
to shoot.
Is clunky and horrible as far as shooting. That's where it's a real dog to me in the way it shoots.
Yeah, I know. We heard all about it in the review.
TNA, I mean, there's not a ton of shots on it necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just a different style.
It's unique. You have to shoot different things, which I appreciate. But it's not compared to dialed in.
No, it's not that.
But yeah, I love just to point out a few things on dialed in that I really like. I like the right orbit that you think is an orbit, but it's actually a ramp. That's something totally unique that I don't remember seeing in any pinball machine before. I like, the theater is great and it sets up your upper orbit shot or upper ramp shot real nice. I like all the trap doors and diverters to move things different ways. There's just there's only so many shots you can put it on a pinball machine, but it does a good job of making it go in different and unique places and keeping you on your toes.
The shots all feel good, and you can do combos and you can get into a flow with it.
Yeah, it's great, very satisfying.
So cool.
Yep. All right, displays and animations. This is a no-brainer for me too.
Dialed in.
Yeah.
Between what's going on in the back glass, it's great, but then you also have. Not only do you have the back glass, right? So you can just easily focus on that. But then you have the phone and all the characters in the phone, the animations that are programmed in for the characters. And then you have the theater, too, which you can count on that.
Yep.
Just awesome. Awesome displays and animations all over. I would say a close second second is Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I really love the art style on that. They hired a team from Adult Swim?
Adult Swim,
yeah, some of those guys or whatever.
Yep.
But I kudos to Aerosmith, the runner-up for that.
I think it's John Paul Dewin at Dialed In or at Jersey Jack that does all the animations for Jersey Jack, and he's just like epic level in my eyes because I have a great appreciation for graphic design and the way things look and just the level of polish that he puts into these games really puts it over the top.
Yeah, agreed. As Wildcat brings up animations to Aerosmith, yeah, I mean, I just think there's more going on in Dialed In.
Yeah.
If that's fair. I mean, Aerosmith is great. I mean, if Dialed In wasn't in that mix, then hands down it will go to Aerosmith. But I think what Dialed In has is just more of it. And it can't help, at least to me, be more impressive.
Yeah, amazing. All right, so that is the last of the regular categories. So that brings us to Game of the Year.
Can you guys figure out what we're both going to say for Game of the
Drum
Year?
roll.
I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing.
It's Dialed In.
Yeah, it's Dialed In, man.
Yeah, that's kind of a no contest. in my eyes.
Dialed In is super impressive.
Yeah.
And what's even more impressive is that we've got a lot of games to put it up against this year.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
including a game
7,
like Star Wars,
9
which
games
should have
altogether.
crushed it on theme alone.
Yeah.
And I think Star Wars might be one of the biggest disappointments of the year.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a big Star Wars fan. And,
I am. I would have loved to buy a great Star Wars game, but there's not one in my
didn't
game
deliver.
Yeah.
I think Total Nuclear Annihilation TNA, while it didn't come up a lot of times when we're talking about it, I'm very impressed with that game.
That's the number 2 game of the year in my eyes.
Yeah, it's the number 2 game, and it might not win in all the categories like that, but there's something special about TNA and what it does and what Scott did. So that is the number 2 game in my eyes. Either I would say maybe tied with Aerosmith. I think Aerosmith is we've sort of been there, done that with Aerosmith, so it loses some of its luster, even though it's solid for what it is. But TNA is just a kind of a refreshing, good surprise.
Yeah, and Alien has potential. Again, get the mechanics going, and I think that'll be a good game in the future, hopefully too. So kudos to all these companies that are putting out these awesome games and making this a difficult choice for us.
So try and ask, would I have a TNA in my game room? What keeps me and holds me back from getting a TNA is basically the price tag. I'm not saying it's not worth or they're overcharging or anything like that. I'm just saying for $6,000, I'm like, is it enough game for me?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the flaws in the game to me is that it's a linear game. And linear games, to me, get boring really quickly when you're sort of doing the same thing over and over again and playing the game the same way over and over again. I sort of like games that are at least a little more open-ended than that, right? So I think that's what keeps it from getting into my game room anytime soon. Who knows? When I'm flush with cash or I don't know. There isn't one locally, so it would be nice to have. But I'd probably get an Aerosmith before I got a TNA.
Okay.
Just it's cheaper and there's just more going on. To be honest, there's more game there.
Yeah, and well, the good thing about TNA too is that they're Spooky Pinball. I said they're going to keep running it as long as there's demand. So there's not a huge rush to get out there and get it. You can get your hands on it, play it a bunch, see how much you like it, see if it's worth putting the investment in for your game room.
Yeah.
So from there are a few other categories, and this is where we put in our cheap plug. You can go ahead. Oh, it's Twippy. For those listening, I'm putting the command in our chat. So there are 3 categories there's one for favorite pinball podcast, favorite pinball Twitch stream, and favorite pinball YouTube channel. And if you like what we do, we would encourage you to vote for us. Go to thisweekinpinball.com and vote for us in the Twippy Awards.
It would certainly mean a lot to us if you guys can take a couple minutes out of your time. If you're fans of the show, you like what we're doing, one way to encourage this to continue, right, is feedback like that. So take a moment, if you don't mind, vote for us for favorite Twitch stream, favorite pinball podcast, and favorite YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If you could pick up a couple of those, you know, that'd be pretty good.
That'd be awesome.
I'd take it.
Yeah, all day.
We bust our humps, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys like this.
There's a lot of pinball stuff happening.
Don't want to spin my wheels, for nothing.
There's also a category for your favorite pinball mod, so you can that's one of those you can just fill in whatever you want.
I would say I think Pin Stadium should win this year.
Yeah, I voted for Pin Stadium.
Because it's something that's something new, right?
Yeah.
It's a new mod that's sort of a game changer and especially for a lot of games.
Yeah.
So that would take my vote, and I did vote for that.
Yep.
So there you go.
All right, Speedy Ray says we got his vote, so thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
And
right.
our friends Zach and Greg from Straight Down the Middle will be hosting the awards show to reveal all these winners.
Yep, in January.
Yeah,
I think they're going to get tuxedos, and
that's they should. They have to.
Right.
Now we've set that standard. You gotta do that.
I know. Come on, guys.
We don't have a date yet for the event. So,
yeah, they just said January. They don't have
but they're going to
date.
stream it live.
Yep, live stream on their Twitch, twitch.tv/SDTM Pinball, I believe it is.
It's cool.
So check out Straight Down the Middle on Twitch. Be sure to give those guys a follow. All right. Well, you know what time it is. It's review time.
Oh.
Let's go.
I am okay. This life is a bore, at least I've gotten laid before. Are you ready for your eye exam?
All right, so we're gonna get into. Oh, wait, those aren't the pictures of Guardians.
It's this review of Guardians of the Galaxy is brought to you by Bubbly
Pizza.
Original Crust Pizza. Bubbly from the 90s.
Bubbly. Those are the pictures of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we're gonna talk about the latest Stern Pinball release, Guardians of the Galaxy, released just a month or so ago here, and we've both had some time in on it. And I think you've probably played it more than I have, but
I don't think so.
No?
I got sick of it. Well, man, I'm so
wow.
bad at this.
All right. We're going to cut right to the review, right to the rating.
I'm gonna go home early, Kevin. I'm just gonna I'm gonna spend as much time reviewing this as they probably worked on it.
Oh, hey, just mash up a couple things that already exist and ship it. Right. So our let's go through our rating. So we're gonna take a look at the art, the sound, the toys, the DMD and lighting, the gameplay, the rules, and the overall lastability of this game, based on what we've played of it so far. We've, when I put in our Discord that we were reviewing this game, I got some feedback that why are you reviewing this game? It's pretty early in code.
People get that's. All right, let's talk. I'm glad you brought that up.
So let's put that out there again.
Let's talk about this.
Yep.
When a movie comes out, it gets reviewed. When an album comes out, it gets reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
When a video game comes out, even before it even is released, there's usually a review because people get advanced review copies. When a car comes out, it gets reviewed. Why is any piece of anything? Why is pinball an exception? You got to ask yourself that. Okay, and then I think that's going to revolve a lot around this review when we talk about this review. Sort of that undertone then.
So if a product gets released to the marketplace
and people can buy it,
they're accepting your $6,000 for a machine.
Yes,
we're going to review
shipping.
It.
It's going to get reviewed like anything else. So
Yep.
pinball's not going to get any kind of special treatment.
Right. And we're open to revisiting games in 3 years when they're done being coded. I'd like, Batman has come a long way.
Well, that's the other side of the coin. We will review it. We will go back after the game as the game progresses, as the game is almost kind of considered finished, right?
Because I imagine if we were doing this review or these reviews when The Walking Dead first came out, our early reviews would not have been that great.
Absolutely.
But now it's like one of our favorite games of all time.
It wasn't my favorite game when it came out. I saw the potential in Walking Dead, but I certainly didn't buy it then.
Right. So you have to give consideration to a game over time. Right now, we're going to give you our impression of whether or not you should go out and buy this game as it stands right now, because you never know. Like, look at a game like WrestleMania. It came out and it didn't get a whole lot of code updates because they didn't sell a whole lot of them. So.
Right. There's no guarantees.
Yeah, you got to buy a game based on what's there right now, not on the promise of the future. So,
and when a game comes out, people are making decisions, and these are expensive items. I don't care if the thing is $10, right? people review things that are $10.
Yes, they do unboxings.
There's $10 games on Steam. There's $5 games on Steam, and they have hundreds of reviews when they come out, right? And people look at that and say that game's not a $20 game; it's a $10 game. So you're making judgments about how you spend your money.
All right. And with that caveat, let's get into reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's already off to a good start. Things are going well when you've got to give caveats.
Disclaimers right off the top. But let's start talking about the art. That's something we can talk about. It exists. It's not going to change. So I'll throw up some pics and you can talk about the artwork here a little bit.
Art to me is very much in line with what you see in movie posters in the movies, right? So any kind of promotional materials. I think it looks great. It's vibrant. It's good art.
Yeah,
it's got that comic book style, but it's real actors, right? So it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
no mistaking that.
It's got that cool like neon '80s kind of vibe to it, which is reminiscent of the visual aesthetics of the movie. I think Christopher Franchi was a good pick for this game. He gives it that cinematic movie poster kind of style look to it.
Yeah,
he's still even on this game though. He'll do the like one awesome painting of the characters and then just reuse them in different places. So you see Star-Lord with the gun.
So those are all hand-drawn paintings that he does?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's amazing, but you get like one awesome painting of Star-Lord. And
it's sort of funny, like
used more than once.
They're paintings, but I don't know that they're paintings, so
they're too good.
You almost might as well use clip art.
Right.
That probably really is insulting.
Yeah, it's super insulting.
It's a compliment, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I look at
amazing.
That. Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's really good.
Yeah. So,
that's really good. Considering we just played Jurassic Park last week, and you look at Newman's hand and the drawing, the child's drawing on that game, man. You've come a long way. So kudos.
Let's draw all these awesome dinosaurs, and then we'll just do here's some fingers. Done.
Yeah.
I can do that.
So
I can do the fingers on Jurassic Park.
So yeah, that's really impressive. So the art's good.
I like the art.
I like the art.
It's not. It doesn't get me as hyped as a Dirty Donnie or a Zombie Yeti game.
And you're comparing it to the best,
right.
So this is good art.
It's just a different style.
Yeah,
this
good art.
The style doesn't get me as hyped, but
you'd be
good.
happy.
Well done. Right, sound. Oh God, we're getting ready. We should have really done sound last.
Wow, we at least started off. We started off on the positive note. Oh Jesus!
A bubbly bobo.
Well, first of all,
a bubbly bo.
Yeah. First of all, there was a code update since I last played it, but that really didn't change anything.
Didn't change a lot.
In fact, people are saying the newest code update has so many bugs to stick with the old one.
Oh wow, okay.
When the game actually came out, I played it with like the voices in it. When the game came out, first of all, it didn't even ship
no
with
callouts.
no callouts, nothing. There's no voices in the game, so keep that in mind. This is how it shipped. Then they updated it, and they put in voices in the game, but it's here's the weird thing about this game. So when you pick a character, it plays like a scene from the first movie, because I don't think the second movie's like not in there at all.
Right.
So it plays a scene from the first movie. It's really Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And it just plays that scene out. Like, it just, you hear the voices, and they're not even the real actors from that scene. It's people that they hired to like lip sync for the actors in that scene.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird. It's really jarring. And I get that this is a licensing thing, but it sucks.
Yeah.
And what's weird is that I can't think of another pinball machine that you start a mode and it just does the lines from that scene every time,
Start to finish every time.
Yeah, so you're gonna hear it every time. It's not like they're calling out what's going on in the game. It's just really like
It's weird.
it's really weird and really bad.
Yeah.
And then like
Kinda
the
lazy.
the weird bobbly mode where the guy's like a bobbly bobbly bobbly.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like this sounds like I'm being weird saying that, but that's what's going on in the
That
game.
is what the game says.
I saw the first movie 3 or 4 years ago. I don't remember that scene at all. I had to go back and watch it. I'm like, oh Jesus, this is what they put in?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I'll give credit to our fellow streamer Waspinator. He was the first one to stream. Like the code came out and he streamed it right away. And that's when I had the moment of he got into the Boboli mode and I'm like, what is it? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
And why is it happening over
It's
and
so
over?
bad
and
choices,
over
man.
And over. And yeah, like you said, it's this one little inconsequential scene in the movie. It was kind of funny in the movie when I went back and rewatched it,
but
I
in
didn't remember it.
context.
Yeah. Totally out of context in the pinball machine.
The mode is when he's talking to an antiques dealer and he's talking gibberish. Like, it's so weird. Like, it's such a weird thing from that pinball game.
Yeah.
And
Strange
there's not
choice
even
for
the
a mode.
real actors. Like, that's
Yeah.
the other like garbage part about that. It's just like, if you're gonna get, it's not even almost worth getting the license if you can't even do the machine right.
Yep. So,
But then also there's music, right, Kevin?
there's I had to put Boba Lee back up when we were
And
talking about the sound.
Stern announced today that they're adding 2 more songs because large part of that movie is the soundtrack, which I don't like the soundtrack, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I like the soundtrack in that movie. I think it's awesome. How it gets implemented in the game will be key, though.
Well, right now it just plays it.
It plays
in
in, like,
modes,
out of
Ooga
mode.
Chaka. And like you're just
That's
like,
the annoying part about
you
that
want to kill
song.
yourself
Yeah.
at the point?
I don't need to hear the Ooga Chaka part of that song every time. Like, just
Horrible.
get into the I can't stop this feeling part.
Yeah,
Start
I
with that
guess.
part.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can make it better.
Yeah.
It's hard, you can't make it worse. And then the Cherry Bomb, and then
Cherry Bomb.
Yeah, like
And
you just
then,
hear it over and over again. You start to lose your mind too.
Yeah. Jackson 5, and I can't remember what the other song was.
Yeah, well, those aren't in the
Marvin
Jackson 5
Gaye.
and Marvin Gaye one's not in there
Aren't
yet,
coming.
so they're adding that. Which that's what people want. So it's
Yeah.
good to see that they are getting
It's good.
put
It's-
into the game.
It's just such an integral part of the movie that to not have that soundtrack, like people just will listen to that soundtrack because it's just so well put together, and it's like kind of this greatest hits of songs of that era. So I get it. I think they're doing a smart thing by integrating more of the songs. So we'll see. As long as they get put in well, and the choreography and everything is there, like we've talked about.
It's presentation.
Right. It
and
needs to be
the
done right.
presentation's a mess right now.
Yeah, it's just kind of like blah.
It's just dumped in there.
Yeah. All right. Toys. So it's got an awesome toy. It's got the Groot head. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
well
okay.
sculpted.
Yeah, the sculpt is good.
I like that. I thought when I was gonna play it that the balls were just gonna kind of dribble out when he opened it up, but they fire out at you, which I liked. It kind of kept me on my toes.
Okay.
It's like, that's awesome, and that's one of the things I really like about this game is the it's fast and nasty, and it's a John Bohr game, so that's what I like. It's got the Groot kickback. I can put the pictures up here, so we can. There we go. Let's get to the playfield pictures here, the close-ups. There you go. So on the left, you got so there's Groot. He's awesome.
He opens his mouth and you shoot the balls in there.
I like it's got nice smooth motion when he opens his mouth and stuff. It's a well done toy. The sculpt is great. It's got the egg thing. There's on the left is the closed egg. On the right is the open egg. That's the premium LE version. On the Pro, it just stays closed.
Who cares?
Yeah, I
don't know.
It's a fancy drop target.
There's not a big difference too between like the Pro and like the premium LE. To be honest,
yeah. It's got the big giant Groot hands, which I guess is a toy, but
and
you don't interact with it.
We just played the Pro, by the way.
It's got the Rocky kickback, which is, if you think of,
it's War Machine from Iron Man. So we've seen that before, and it's in the same spot too.
Yeah, it seemed pretty. Were you able to hit that? It was kind of tough, kind of a tough shot.
I wasn't really going for it. It looks like the same as War Machine.
Yeah,
it really does. The kickback is faster than War Machine, though.
Super fast.
It was really fast. I was like, was my Iron Man like that when it came out? I don't
think
I've ever played any. Have you played any Iron Mans that's that fast?
I don't know. Yeah, like I remember it being fast when I first played yours, but that was probably more because I was not as good at pinball then.
Yeah,
I hadn't played as much.
I almost want to go back and like clean mine or put a new sleeve or something. But like that, it comes out really quick. From that.
Yeah. So those are the toys. I mean, Groot's the big one. I like the Groot head. It's cool. I don't know, theme integration wise, like Speedy Ray says, why are we shooting Groot in the face with pinballs? But I mean, there's no pinballs in Guardians of the Galaxy, so you gotta kind of make some.
Yeah, I can give a pass on that. Yeah. Like, okay,
yeah, that's cool. I like it. I think it's a good move there. I'd rather hit Groot in the head than like Star-Lord or something like that. Groot looks cooler on the playfield.
Yeah.
Right. DMD and lighting, or well, display and lighting, because there's no more DMDs. What do you think?
There's really no presentation. There's not really anything happening in lighting other than the fact that lights are on the game.
The lighting, the choreography of the lighting, there's not much there. I like the style they're going for on the display.
Okay.
The cool borders around it, and it's got
it
ties in well with the art on the pinball machine.
Yeah, it does. It does tie in well.
But there are
art.
still some huge gaps where you have it's a black screen with white text on it.
It's missing stuff.
And I guess on the straight down the middle, they streamed the latest code. And when it went into the scoop, this is kind of more code, but it awarded them, they're playing a Pro, and it awarded them maximize the spinner value. There's no spinners on the Pro.
No spinners on the Pro. Yeah, it's just, I mean, showing clips from the movie, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just.
There's
whatever.
not a lot of polish on there at all.
No.
Right. Gameplay.
Well, first of all, the game is Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
And this is I'll just come out and say this is a copy and paste game. The playfield is Metallica with some elements from Iron Man, like the War Machine kickback.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much like 95% Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, it shoots great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Metallica shoots great. John Borg designed this. He's my favorite designer. So it shoots great.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, it's like been there and done that. Like I own a Metallica. Why would I want to have another game in my collection that is the exact same design and layout?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no compelling reason for me to do that.
There's one thing on this game when I played it that I was like, oh, that's awesome. And that was the left ramp. I like how you shot it and it went like under and then around and back up over the top. I don't remember seeing a ramp in that sort of configuration before. Where
no, I didn't catch on to that. That's cool.
It had a really cool motion on it. The right ramp was much tougher for me to hit. I don't know. The one that's on location here in Buffalo is just playing super fast and mean. So
yeah,
the games were over quick.
I like the scoop shot on the right. So like in Metallica, it's crank it up, but on Guardians, it just seems. It feels better.
It's not like an actual scoop. It's more of like a saucer.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Maybe I was just on that day, but it was easier for me to hit than the crank it up.
Yeah, it must be in a
shots
slightly
of that
better
felt
spot.
good, which it needs to be because it's the mode start shot.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be hitting that a lot. I mean, you need to hit that. So I like that better than the way it is on Metallica.
Yeah. Groot seemed pretty easy to hit from either flipper.
Groot, Sparky, what do you want to call him?
It's that early kind of shot on your flipper that
which
John
you've
Borg
been trained for
the
last 4 years.
Yeah, so if you've played Metallica or Walking Dead, you know how to hit that shot. Or Tron, the disc on Tron. You kind of know where that is. Trying to think of anything else really noteworthy on the game. The kickback with the kickback, the War Machine kind of kickback was tough. I had a hard time hitting that, but yeah, I mean, it's like it doesn't get me excited to play it. The layout, it's just like, okay, it's fun, it's fine, it works.
I went down to play this game on location. It's a game that we bought for the business, and I was so done with it. Like, it's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's like been there, done that, and there's nothing there, and what's there is just nothing special.
Yeah. It kept me coming back. I had fun playing it. I kept wanting to play it more, which I didn't have that feeling when I played Star Wars. Star Wars, I was just kind of like, well, what's going on here? Like, I didn't get it, and the shots didn't feel that good. At least on this game, I feel like the shots are good and the bones are there. It has potential. Can the code get there? That's the big question. That'll bring us into our next category, which is the rules.
Yeah. There's nothing to. I mean, there's just things flat out missing from the rules, and it looks like it's shaping up to be like Aerosmith. Just shoot the shot a bunch of times or shoot the lit arrow. It's just nothing special.
Yeah.
It's just no creativity at all that we're seeing. There's things missing from the rules. I don't know, man.
Code needs a lot of work still. That's the bottom line. I mean, I don't know the basis of what's there. It's going to be your basic mode based kind of game, where start a mode, shoot the shots, move on. I don't know if that's. I like mode based games. I like Dialed In. I like Ghostbusters is a mode based game. I like that game a lot. So it could be a game that I enjoy, but again, to be determined. In a lot of that, there's a lot of questions to be answered still in the rules category.
So Speedy Rice asks, how is it as a location game? Do players like it? We put this on location, I think, 2 weeks ago, so it's too early for us to tell. We haven't collected from it yet or anything like that. Ask me again in a couple months, and I can tell you, for the business side of things, we decided to get this. I'm one of 3-4 partners, maybe almost 5 now. So it's kind of like we feel compelled to get newer Stern games when they come out, and
you're always going to have that bump when a new game comes out, right?
Yeah,
the players want to go out.
It's also in a new location.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it does over time.
Yeah.
I mean, as a theme, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a hot theme, and that's all people need sometimes. Non-pinball people might enjoy shooting Groot, and that's it, and they won't notice anything else.
Right.
Players, I haven't talked to them that much about how they feel about the game, at least the local ones in Buffalo.
Yeah, it seems to be getting kind of mixed reviews. When I was there on last Wednesday, we had a number of folks from the Buffalo Pinball Team League there, and the newer players seem to like it. There's one at Riverworks too, I guess, and they've been playing that one a lot. And he was kind of talking me through the modes and the shots and stuff like that. So, it's probably too, like, if you haven't played a bunch of games with this layout, then it's like, oh, this is cool. Look at all this stuff. But
sure,
when you've been through the cycle a few times,
and I own Metallica, man.
Yeah.
It's like, and Metallica is one of the best games in my humble opinion out there. And also, a lot of people feel that way if you look at Pinside.
Yeah.
So, and we're sort of getting into lastability and everything else and overall thoughts. But here's the problem with this game. So you take a game like Metallica, which is one of the best games, right? And then you come out with Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the same layout as Metallica, which is fine. It means it's going to shoot well, but it's sort of boring. And then it comes out and it's totally incomplete. It's just missing stuff. The presentation's really bad. The call-outs are really bad. There's no cohesion to it. It just doesn't look good when you compare it with one of the best games. I mean, that's what you're comparing it to, right? So I can't help but be really disappointed and look at this game as a totally lazy kind of copy this layout from this game, copy this rules from that game, and then there you go, ship it, and it's not even done.
Yep.
And it might blow us away when it's really done and we can see what their vision is for this game, but they're selling this game for $5,400. That's not MSRP. That's what, people buy through a distributor, and it's just a shell of a game. There's so many better games you can get right now versus like you have Kiss and then you had Aerosmith, and it's sort of like they did the same thing, right? So Borg designed both of those games.
Almost exactly the same.
It's almost exactly the same, but we gave Aerosmith a really good review when it came out. And in fact, I will say right now, if you're looking for a Stern game, buy Aerosmith. It's a great game. And why it was easier to be favorable to that copy effort is because Kiss was an okay game. It's not a bad game, not a great game. It's okay. And I really like the layout in that game. But the rules were nothing special. It just didn't have a great toy or anything like that. So then when you come out with Aerosmith, it's an improvement. It's that layout that we liked, but now it's got a really good toy. It's got better rules. It's got better art. It's just a better package. And you got the LCD screen. So you're like, this is like KISS 2.0. This is an improvement. We went in the right direction.
Right.
With this game, we're going in the wrong direction, right? And it's just, I don't know. It's disappointing.
2084 said people said the same thing about Metallica copying Attack from Mars when it came out. And I could see that based on layout. They are very similar. But again, it comes down to the differentiation in rules. And the rules... Metallica was another game that came out with very bare bones rules, and I remember playing it with you, and we were kind of like, we got the multi-balls, and there wasn't much else to do. But over time, it got to be one of these great games. Yeah. So the code is just such a huge factor on these games that when they come out and it's so bare bones, all you can really rate it on is the layout. So you compare it to other things, and if I have this great game, Attack from Mars, when there's this big game Metallica with a couple multi-balls and not much else, I'm going to play Attack from Mars.
Or look at it this way, too. Metallica came out in 2013, right? Attack from Mars came out in 1996. So if you want to copy a game that came out 10 years ago, well, it doesn't feel as recent memory, or it doesn't seem as bad, or maybe it's fresh to see that design again, versus Stern copying a game that they put out 3 or 4 years ago, and a game that we see all the time, so many people own, we play so many times in tournaments. That's really boring. It's not. It doesn't capture your interest. It doesn't draw you in and make you want to play, because you've been there and done that too often. And I know Attack from Mars, we've all played that a lot, but at least there's enough kind of a break in that.
Yeah.
And it does feel like a different game. It plays like a different game. That's the other key.
Yeah.
I mean, Tron is similar to Funhouse or Tommy or a little bit Congo. You know, there's games that's similar to, but it feels different when you play it. This game didn't feel terribly different from Metallica because Groot is Sparky, and you're shooting that a bunch of times. And right now, the strategy is just going to go for Groot all day, it seems.
Yeah. I felt the rest of the shots on the game, and given I don't have as much time into Metallica as you do, but I wasn't like, oh, this is Metallica. I get it. The shots are pretty much in the same spots, but the shots felt different enough to me that I wasn't like, oh, this is just super lazy. Like I said, that left ramp was cool. Obviously, the Sparky shot is pretty similar, but I think there's enough just like little shifts in where things are that it makes you have to kind of aim a little differently. And I like the scoop shot a little nicer, so that was good. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's basically the same game. But I think there's enough differentiation on the play field that if they get the code in a good place, that this could be a solid game. And sorry, Haas in the chat says, do I think it can be better than Star Wars if they get the code right? And I would say absolutely to that. I think it's got the potential. I love John Borg layouts. Even if you've played, Metallica or Iron Man, if they can differentiate enough on code, I think this is going to be a fun game.
Well, it doesn't have multipliers in it where you hit another button, so it's already, I don't know. I got a problem with that.
Jeff Teola style, hitting that button. He loves the button too.
All right, last ability right now has none.
Yeah, there's not much there.
There's no. Here's the thing. There's no reason to buy this game now.
Yeah, don't rush out and buy.
There are better games. There are complete games. Spend your money on that, and then make Stern put out a game code wise that warrants all your time, your energy, and money in playing it, because they're going to be making this game for the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely no reason to buy it right now. Why rush out? Why encourage behavior from Stern of shipping games that are just every game? It seems they have less and less code. They didn't used to do this.
No,
this is a new thing, and they're going in the wrong direction. They're charging more than they ever have before. They're having more problems than they've ever had before with machines, and they're shipping games with even less code. Why are you guys buying machines? I've stopped. The last game I got from Stern was Walking Dead, and that game's brilliant. But I didn't buy it when it came out. I didn't buy it because it's Walking Dead. I bought it because Lyman kicked ass on the code and made a really special game, and I love that game. And then the game before that was Metallica, and because that game, it got awesome with the code when Crank It Up came out. So wait until the game gets good and you know what it's going to be, and don't buy a game just hoping that, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, I know they're going to make it good. You don't know that.
You don't know that.
You don't know what's going to happen with that. There's so many pinball machines out there. Go and buy something else, and then maybe sell the game that you bought now, and then get Guardians if it's good.
Yeah, and Now I forgot what I was going to say. I had a great point to make, and now it's gone. But forget it. Let's get into viewer listener Q&A.
So we got to rate it, Kevin.
Oh, we do. All right. Do we have to?
Hell yeah.
All right. So let's go to our.
We got a system. This is what makes us special.
All right. So this is our podcast page on the website, and
All
here's
right,
our
so
score key.
The score key is 0 to 2 is burn it. 3 to 5 is an expensive nightlight. 6 to 8 is a solid game, and if we give a game a 9 or 10, then you should definitely buy it. All right, Kev, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 5. I think right now it's an expensive nightlight because of the lack of code. It's right on the verge of being, like, I think layout-wise it's a solid game, but I wouldn't. Oh God, I want to. It's like between a 5 and a 6 for me right now. So 5.5. I'll say 5.5. What
did I give Batman? I'm saying 4.5. I think I give it a 4. I'll give it a 4.5. I don't even know why I give it a half a point more than Batman because we're the same situation again. Oh, you know why? Because Batman
the layout's
was
better.
Well,
the shots feel way better on Guardians than on Batman.
I'm not convinced of that. But I think that at least with Guardians, like Batman was way overpriced.
Yeah.
And it just super undelivered. Like it was like a scam. So I'll give this a 4.5. It's an expensive nightlight right now.
Yeah.
It's a shell of a game. It's like in alpha code pretty much.
Yeah.
Wait till it gets finished.
All right.
And I promise, guys, we will come back and we will review it in kind of a short term and update our rating on what we think this game is. When they actually put a game out and finish it.
Folks have asked us if we'll go back and review like Alien and Batman.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
I don't know when. Maybe
it's going to be a couple years
2020. Well, Batman review coming out in 2020.
Coming at you. Episode 157.
God, you know what? I don't even want to. I hate picking on Batman because I know Lyman's awesome and he's going to do an amazing job.
It's already getting there too. Like you're starting to see the hints of what awesome.
But that doesn't mean go out and buy it though.
Right.
That's what I'm not. I can say both things. I think consistently. Yeah, Lyman. I think Lyman's going to make it awesome. But you don't need to go out and buy it right now.
Just hold on to it.
Lyman can get hit by a bus tomorrow, and then you're in trouble.
Yes. Well, there you go. So that's Guardians of the Galaxy as of December 2017. So, viewer listener Q&A. We got one email from our league member Nick Kaiser. He says, "How do you play Guardians of the Galaxy? Mode, multi-ball, shot multipliers? ? Right now it's Groot all day.
Yeah, Groot all day.
So there you go.
Easy.
Done. All right, couple questions from Discord. Waspinator wants to know, he says this is the most important question, who's the number one pinball machine trader on Pinside of 2017?
I have no idea.
It's James.
Oh. Okay.
You thought I was going to say him. Well, because Wasp buys a game and then puts it up for sale like the same day he buys it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but James has he's our hometown hero. So
did Wasp get rid of Guardians?
Yeah, he's had like 4 games since he bought Guardians.
All right, good move, Wasp.
Yeah, he's doing something with his pinball machines. I'm not sure what. Life Force says, I'm sure this has probably come up before, but how do you feel about the game first, code later philosophy of Stern? And we don't need to harp on this again. We've kind of already talked about it, but he says, would you prefer it if they just delayed every game for a year to actually have more featured versions?
I'm tired of games coming out and you go and play and it's obvious that they're not done with it.
Yeah,
it's super disappointing. This is not a fun review. This is not fun talking about a game and harping on a game and complaining a game. I'm disappointed. I'm somebody who's bought 5 new in-box Sterns, and I've seen it go downhill.
Yeah, I want every game to be amazing out of the box. Who wouldn't want that?
They put out Aerosmith this year, and that's a great game. Buy that game.
So, what do you say to the theory that this game was rushed out due to like they had to take another game out of their lineup, and then this game got pushed
that's
out too early?
A strong rumor that another game was supposed to come out before this, so they had to rush this up on the line and sell it. But listen, again, what other do we do this with cars? Do we do this with video games? I don't know, man. I don't agree with it because I think you're going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and you there are plenty of people like myself who are tired of playing a game but it ships and it's not complete. And I don't care what the reason is. I don't.
I mean, I'm sure it's tough for them because they have to balance keeping all these people employed, keeping the manufacturing line up and running, versus having sufficient time to get these games
I agree
sorted out. So maybe they just hire a whole bunch of coders. They need to find like 5 more Lymans
But
and then they'll be all set.
listen, when they were like in the recession, the lean years of like 2008 to 2010, like John Borg was the only designer.
Mm-hmm.
He's making like every game, all right? And they had Lyman and they had Lonnie. And games came out, and games had more code than they do today.
Yeah.
So Stern is doing better than they ever have. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know it's a little more complicated because they have the LCD screen.
Yeah.
And if somebody from Stern is listening to this, is like, of course you don't get it, Nick. You don't know what it's like to run a pinball company. But as a consumer, come on, stop putting out a game that's not even close to being done.
In some ways, the LCD is probably a little easier because they could just rip clips from the movie and throw them in there.
Well, there's truth to that.
And throw some numbers over the top. And
That right.
all their fonts. They, I think it was Life Forcer in our chat said maybe all that money is going towards all the different fonts they use because fonts are expensive to license. They use a lot of fonts.
I'm shaking my head right now. I don't. This is sad. I want to go home.
All right, last question from Attack. He says, and he said it. I should have given you this question earlier to think about, but he says, "What is your most satisfying single jackpot or super jackpot shot in pinball?"
Oh my God, that's a really good question. I don't have an immediate answer to that. Do you? Do you know this?
The one that comes to mind because it's our alert on Twitch is the double super jackpot from Medieval Madness, just from that awesome call
That's
out.
cool. That's not. I don't know.
It's not a great shot though. It's like a great call out.
Single jackpot. Oh, shot. Single jackpot shot. This I might 2 months later might be streaming and I'll like
This
yell
is
it
it,
out.
yeah.
All right. Let me get back to you, Dak. Give me honest.
I like the Pat Lawler like set up the upper flipper shot for like a double or triple jackpot because that's hard to pull off while you're managing a multi-ball.
Mm-hmm.
Attack's yelling at us in the chat right now. I acknowledge that.
Getting it in Swords of Fury when you get it up top and you get it, that's like more satisfying than
That's tough.
a lot of shots these days, right? It's sort of, it's got to be like one of those shots that like are really hard to get and really rare. Like it's not just handing out super jackpots left and right, like an older game. Just can't think of it right now.
Yeah. So there you go, Attack. There's your answer that you were expecting.
Who's yelling at us in chat?
Attack.
I don't know if I would have had a good answer, Attack.
Yeah,
but
I had more time. And
I take your question very seriously, though.
Uh-huh.
You know, this is something I take seriously. So give me some time to think about it.
Trapdoor and Funhouse.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now we're getting closer to something that just feels really good because it's difficult, and maybe there's just one of them out there.
There's a couple good questions in chat. Why don't we take those two before we wrap up? So he says, "Sorry, Haas says new inbox pin for Christmas. What would you buy?"
Right now, I would buy. So I mean, like me personally, or what would I recommend to somebody?
I think what would you recommend? Or well, I don't know. Well, let's take it both ways.
All right, so I would if you can afford it, Dialed In, I think is the game of the year. If you can afford a new inbox like Stern, I would say Aerosmith.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two I would recommend for like that you can buy right now. The code is like complete. The code's there, right? There might be updates and stuff, but like you've got a game out of the box and you can just totally enjoy it. So I guess it depends on what your price point is. If you're in the $5,000 range, get an Aerosmith. If you can spring for a Dialed In, get Dialed In.
Total Nuclear Annihilation, also a good choice. So
yeah, that too.
You can't go wrong with a couple of good solid game choices. All right, so Speedy Rice says,
You're going to agree with those two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You're on par with that. Okay.
Dialed In, absolutely.
That's the thing.
What if you had to buy a game that you don't already own?
Aerosmith. I'm getting like a broken record,
Yeah.
but I would get that. We're talking about new inbox.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Easy.
I think TNA is really
You should
compelling
totally
to
get
me.
TNA. Kevin.
TNA, or if somebody could guarantee me a working Alien, I would totally buy a working Alien. I really like that game.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah. Somebody's got to guarantee me a working Alien. I will sell some games and buy it. All right. Speedy Ray says, "Do you think we'll see a pinball machine from a Stern competitor at a price that is competitive with a pro?"
Well, here's what Stern does great right now is they're the cheapest game that you can buy.
Mm-hmm. Full featured, inexpensive games.
Wow. Full featured. I don't know. They're not full featured anymore.
It's not a Zizzle.
Yeah, but they don't have code like they used to be. It used to be like
full featured gameplay, like playfield wise.
It's a legit pinball machine. Yeah. So to Stern's credit, they're doing that, and that's why I want them to crush it. I want them to do great.
And they're solidly built. They're going to last on location.
Yeah.
You're not going to have connectors falling off.
That's what we're buying as
Yeah.
operators. We try to buy the new Sterns.
Right.
You know.
So they know how to manufacture a solid pinball machine. They just need to get the code up to speed. But do you think there will be a competitor that can match that price? What do you think?
It's gonna be tough. I mean, look at TNA. TNA, and I know kind of Spooky's put this up. Like people say there's nothing on this game, and then they show like the underside of it.
Yeah.
Like I get that, but like, come on. I mean, there's not a lot on the top of the playfield, right? It's a pretty simple game. But the cheapest that they can really get it down to is $6,000.
Yeah.
So there's something to really be said about what Stern's able to do as a manufacturer is put out a game that keep the cost down. I don't know.
I think probably the closest possibility is Home Pin in Australia because they're offshoring their manufacturing to China.
Ugh, forget. Let's move on.
But you know, if you want to talk about a game at that price point, I mean, Spooky is there with their pricing. If you looked at their earlier games, they were like in that $5,000 range. Yeah, just over $5,000.
But I mean, you know, no offense, I'm just not paying that kind of money for a Spooky pinball machine. Maybe TNA. TNA seems to be good, but
yep.
I don't know. I want to get TNA for the business.
Yeah,
I've been harping on that.
You should.
I think it would do well on location, but I gotta convince other people, and it's tough because I can get a Stern for less. So I don't know.
I know we had
tough decisions. You got anything else, Kev?
I thought we had another question here, but all right.
We can wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it
end
up.
on a high note.
Let's thank you guys for all of your questions today. If you want to connect with us, you can follow us on social media. Before we get to that, I want to thank everybody who went out and reviewed us on iTunes. We got like 13 reviews on iTunes now, and we had like one before. So
yeah, so thank you
guys.
Thank you, Pit Stadium, for kickstarting that, and thank
Yeah.
you guys for doing that. That's kind.
Again, if you feel like leaving us a review, go on iTunes. It helps boost us up when people search for pinball stuff. So it'll let more people find out about the podcast. But you can follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, even on Steam. If you want to connect up with a bunch of other folks on Steam, just it's Buffalo Pinball on all those accounts. You can email us, talkpinball@gmail.com. Before the month is over, be sure to win enter to win a Pin Stadium lighting kit, courtesy of Pin Stadiums. Go to pinstadium.com/Buffalo_pinball. That'll get you there. Just enter your name, email address, and we're going to give it away, I believe, the first week of January. So
Okay.
that'll be fun.
So I blinked out. I was just thinking about life for a minute. We gave the talkpinball@gmail address.
I did.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're
You
good.
can tell when I talk, Nick just like
It's
doesn't
the
listen.
holidays. I hit the checkout button already.
This is a couple more days of work before you can totally check out. If you like what we do and you want to support us, there's a couple ways you can do it. Follow us and subscribe to the Twitch channel. That gives us a few bucks a month when you do that. You also get access to emoticons you can use in chat.
You don't have to watch commercials when you log into our
It's
channel,
ad-free,
which
yeah.
is that's worth it right
It's a nice
there.
plus. And you can subscribe on Patreon. And Patreon had some little snafu this month, but they rolled that back.
Thank God. See, they listen. That's good. And we didn't do a Patreon review this month because we had Guardians, but we'll get back to that groove next month, so don't worry.
Yep. Patreon.com/Buffalo Pinball. So, thank you for listening, watching, following all that this year. It's been a great year. Look forward to a great year of pinball ahead. And with that, let's wish you a happy holidays, and we will see you in the new year.
See you guys.
Bye.